Nose is calibrated.
Stay on target. Oh, are you doing this right now?
Wine number 1 is a white wine. This one is day bright. This one is a pale straw color, fading to a clear rim variation. There's a metallic edge going around the wine. No gas, no sediment. Viscosity is medium plus, and the concentration on it, again, medium minus on the nose. The wine is clinically correct. There are no obvious flaws on the wine. This wine is a youthful wine, but it is showing some type of slight vinosity. But I don't know if that's necessarily vinosity or the fact that there's a little bit of a cooked, almost bruised aroma, moderate plus intensity. Cooked peaches, cooked orange skin, cooked yellow apples. There's also yellow plum, bit of an oxidized, bruised banana component, decaying white rose petals, decaying forest floor, a little bit of organic earth, crushed soil, maybe a little bit of crushed rock. Seems to possibly be some oak on this wine. I get a little bit of a kind of a cedar aroma, possible leaves, but I'll confirm that on the palate. There does seem to be a little bit of toast, a little bit of brioche, and a little bit of a cheese rind to the palate. On the palate, this wine is a dry wine. I'm going to confirm the fact that this wine is a youthful wine. Again, moderate plus weight, but it's pulling. It's pulling. Not as bruised on the palate as it is on the nose. I want to confirm that the orange zest, a little bit of tangerine in there, a little bit of pineapple. That's sweet, sweet citric fruit. So I think that bitter almond that I was, that bitter almond I was speaking of, I definitely want to confirm. It's bruised. It's almost like a peanut shell. There's almost confirming that cheese rind, confirming that kind of brioche and toast. But back to the fruits. Bruised peaches still, but a little bit more tropical pineapple essence. But that acidity is pulling. A little bit of a saline quality in there also. That acid is medium plus. The astringency is medium plus. There are no tannins in the wine. Alcohol on this wine is I said medium plus viscosity. Alcohol is probably just that medium plus, confirming that chalky. So there's no oak on the wine. It's just a little bit of lazy way the wine was made. Maybe some big, large uprights, but no new oak on the wine. Tad bit of toast, but I think that's from the grape. Balanced wine, moderate plus complexity, moderate plus finish. And this conclusion on the wine. The wine is an old world wine because of the acidity, because of the earth. I'm talking a lot about the earth. Fruit's a little bit more, not as prevalent as you think it would be. A little bit more about the earth. Possible countries are Spain with that acid and salinity. And other possible countries on that are possible countries of Spain and Austria, Albarino and Grunewald in their cool climate, young wine, 1 to 3 years old. Final conclusion, this is Old World, this is Spain, this is Galicia, this is Rías Baixas, this is Albarino from the 2009 vintage of medium plus quality. Wine number 2 is a white wine. This wine is just bright with a medium yellow color fading to a light golden rim variation, no gas, no sediment, medium plus concentration. Yeah, it's got some yellow following around. Viscosity is actually medium plus on this wine. On the nose, the wine is clinically correct, no obvious flaws. High intensity. I mean, it's just a lot coming up out of this glass, and it is a youthful wine. But wow, this is like ripe candied pears and ripe candied plums, and there's a little bit of perfume and potpourri and honeysuckle and cinnamon. There's almost a sweetness coming out on the nose. This is definitely Jolly Rancher on the nose. No oak on this wine. This wine is kind of all about the fruit and all about the florality. Again, confirming that lavender, a little bit of chamomile, a little bit of tea. Confirming that potpourri once again. Don't really have any earth to talk about on the nose. I'll get to the earth on the palate if there is any. No new oak on the palate. Woo! On the palate, the wine is a bone dry wine. Only medium weight. Again, confirming youthful, medium weight in body. That's more lemon and more lime and more tart tart tangerine skin and unripe plum and unripe peach. That's just very tart and wonderful, but very tart. Wow. Confirming white flowers, confirming chamomile, confirming, I didn't call mint, but mint. There is that tea, but I think that tea is a mint. Am I getting some grass on this wine? I'm getting some grass. I'm getting a little bit of hay. I'm getting a little bit of wet straw. Also, it's kind of opening up. There's almost a little bit of a sulfur that's sitting on top of the wine that I didn't get, and I think that's where my mind is taking me. I'm getting a little bit of sulfur on top of this wine. Not getting any oak though. Or am I just deadly confused? A lot of earth though, a lot of minerality. This is limestone. These are the round, large, wet rocks, river rocks. Alcohol is medium plus. Moderate plus finish. It's actually a long finish, balanced wine, moderate plus complexity. And this conclusion on this wine, again, this wine is an old world wine. This, the earth, and even though that fruit on the nose kind of fooled me, but the earth on this wine is just really good, really up there. The acid is really up there. Possible grape varieties are Chenin Blanc, Chardonnay, and Sauvignon Blanc. My goodness. France, tropical, leesy, hay, but unripe at the same time. Young wine. I'm going to put it in a 2 to 4 year camp. Cool climate because the acid is just up there. Final conclusion on this wine. If it approached me sweetness on the nose, which was a lot of apple and that acid, I'm going to say this is an old world wine from France, not from the Loire Valley, though. I'm going to put this wine in Burgundy, Northern Burgundy, and Chablis. Chardonnay, 2006, right at that 2 to 4 age, 2006 vintage, medium plus quality. Chablis, Premier Cru. My goodness. Wine number 3. Again, is a white wine. That's actually Star Bright with a light yellow center fading to a slightly copper edge. Rim variation is clear around the edge. Medium concentration, no gas, no sediment. Viscosity is medium. Wine is clinically correct, no obvious flaws. Just moderate intensity, moderate power. Getting lime, Granny Smith apple, plum, violets, yellow roses, chamomile. Almost a coriander type and thyme aroma on the nose. Earth is not really prevalent again, not really jumping out. I really don't have anything to describe on the nose of this wine. Let me go straight to the palate. Palate, the wine is a dry wine of medium plus weight. Medium plus intensity also. Fruit is a little bit more prevalent. These are canned peaches, canned pears, lemon, lime, yellow plum. Chamomile, yellow roses, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of coriander. A high amount of almost like an iron or iodine kind of complexity in the mouth. No oak on this wine, but it's kind of weighty and lanolin-like and leesy and woolly. The acidity is medium plus. Alcohol on this wine is just medium. Balanced wine, moderate plus finish, moderate plus complexity. But going back to the earth, this is more of a chalky kind of gritty soil. This is organic earth. Initial conclusion on this wine. Once again, gonna call another old world wine. The acidity once again is up there. Initial countries are France and Italy. It has a Pinot Grigio-esque, but also it has a Sauvignon Blanc-esque. And I'm talking about thyme and kind of coriander, but it's a ripe side of it. I think it's very young, 1 to 3 years of age. Cool climate. Final conclusion, this wine is old world, this wine is France, this wine is Loire Valley, this wine is Central Vineyards. Sancerre. Sauvignon Blanc, medium plus quality, 2009. Wines number 4, 5, and 6. Wine number 4 is a red wine. This wine is Starbright, this one is a bright red ruby color fed into a hot pink rim variation, medium concentration, very, very light standing in the tears. Viscosity is medium plus, no gas, no sediment. On the nose, one is clean, correct, no obvious flaws. This one is a moderate plus intensity, moderate plus power on the nose. Confirming this one is very young, very bright, very youthful. Bean cherries, raspberries, strawberries, vanilla bean, maybe fresh shaved vanilla. Very light evidence of baking spices, cinnamon, dill, sage, nutmeg. Possibility of some use of some new oak on this wine. I'll confirm American or French on the palate. Very clean earth though. Possibly just a little bit of granite. Kind of almost gunflint like, but it's a little bit more about the fruit at this point on the palate. On the palate, the wine is a dry wine. Only medium weight on the wine. Medium weight, medium intensity, but I want to go back to these are strawberries and bean cherries and ripe raspberries and a little bit of currant on the wine. Getting a slight evidence of a little bit of green, a little bit of bell pepper, a little bit of tomato skin, tomato leaf. But again, more about the baking spices. Definitely not vanilla extract. This is more of that fresh shaved vanilla stalk, that vanilla bean. Maybe not even vanilla bean, just like a fresh shaved vanilla stalk. A fainter cinnamon than was on the nose, but a little bit of fainter cinnamon and still nutmeg, but that clove evidence is coming out a little bit more, that bell pepper is coming out just a little bit more. A little bit of cedar, a little bit of smoke, a little bit more of the pyrazines are seeming to jump out on the nose as it's had a little time to get on my palate retronasally. Acid's just medium at best. Tannins are medium plus. Stringency is medium plus. Alcohol, just medium at best. Balanced wine, long finish. Moderate finish. Moderate complexity. Initial conclusions on the wine. Pyrazini. Is it Cabernet family? Is it Cabernet Franc Old World? Is it Malbec New World? Or Merlot New World? Not deep enough to be Syrah. Is it fooling me with Pinot Noir? This conclusion is an Old World wine. Possible countries are the United States, but not California, Oregon, and south of the equator, New Zealand, South Island. This is a young wine, 1 to 3 years of age, very bright, very young, very, very vibrant. 1 to 3, Pinot Noir, cool climate. Final conclusion, this is a New World wine, because there really wasn't much earth to talk about. This is a New World wine. This is New Zealand. This is South Island, a little bit higher quality than Marlborough. This is Central Otago. The tannins are a bit grippier. Moderate plus quality, 2008, and I'm going to put this in a 2 to 4. Wine number 5. Wine number 5, this wine is just a bright wine with a deep garnet center, a deep dark red center, almost borderlining opaque, fading to a very deep red rim variation. There is staining in the tears. This is medium plus concentration. There is no gas. There's also no sediment, but slightly cloudy wine. Viscosity is medium plus. On the nose, the wine is clinically correct, no obvious flaws. There is a bit of evidence of Brettanomyces, but not a flaw. A little bit of oxidation, which means this wine has maybe seen a little bit of age and maybe seen a little bit of large oak barrel. Deep currants. Dark blackberries, dark raspberries, dried red rose petals, organic earth, wet forest floor, bit of barnyard, bit of animal skin, tar, leather. I mean, this is really living live soil. There is a dried vanilla. Like vanilla that you just leave, a vanilla stalk you just leave out. It's almost decaying, but that vanilla is there. A little bit of anise, black Twizzlers, licorice, faint red peppercorn. This wine has seen some oak aging, possibly a little bit of new oak aging. I say that oak aging would be French because of that clove. On the palate? On the palate, the wine is a dry wine. Medium plus weight, medium plus body, confirming that this wine has a little bit of age on it. Dark blackberries, dark currants, dark chocolate on the palate. dried blackberries, tar, leather, sage, truffle, wet forest floor, decaying soil, decaying dried red rose petals, decaying animal skin. Cedar, this is a Cuban cigar box. Black Twizzler, anise, confirming that there is oak on this wine. I think there's a little bit of new French oak on this wine because of that clove, because of that sage, because of that thyme. Tannin? Tannins are just medium, though. Acid's just medium. Alcohol. Alcohol medium plus. Wow. Balanced wine, long finish, highly complex wine. Obviously, I had a lot to say about the wine. In this conclusion, though, with the exception of the alcohol, it seems and feels like an old world wine. There was too much earth to talk about. Fruits are just dark and black, a little bit of age. It feels like a Cabernet Sauvignon family grape variety. Possible grape varieties are Cabernet Sauvignon blended or Merlot Cabernet Franc blended. 5 to 7 years of age, moderate climate. Possible countries of France, and also New World Chile Carmenere, which is also Cabernet family. Final conclusion, this wine is old world, though. This wine is left bank, too earthy. Grave, Cabernet Sauvignon blended, 2002 vintage, medium plus quality. Cabernet Sauvignon family. Wine number 6. Wine number 6 is a red wine. This wine is star bright, brilliant red ruby center, hot pink rim variation, staining in the tears, medium plus concentration, no gas, no sediment. Viscosity is medium plus.
We have 4 minutes.
On the nose, the wine is clinically correct and no obvious flaws. Moderate plus power, moderate plus intensity, bright fruit, bright plums, bright raspberries, bright cherries, very ripe strawberry, ripe red roses, rhubarb, jam, roses, cinnamon, dill, those baking spices, coconut, nutmeg. Get a little bit of new American wood on this wine. Confirming those vanilla, clove, nutmeg, rhubarb, jam. More about the fruit, less about the earth. This wine is a dry wine. This is a dry wine. Medium plus weight, medium plus power. Confirming bright cherries, bright strawberries, bright raspberries, bright plums also. Rhubarb. Bright red roses. Lavender, this is red Twizzler, this is chocolate, this is vanilla, this is vanilla extract, this is cinnamon, this is dill, this is jam. Bright mocha. Feel new American oak on this wine. But yet it seems to be a little bit green. I'm gonna call the green, bell pepper. A little bit of tomato leaf in the wine. But the alcohol, I think the alcohol is medium plus, the acid is medium, the tannins are medium at best. The astringency, there's not any there, but medium minus at best. Medium plus quality, medium quality, sorry. Balanced wine, moderate finish. And this conclusion on this wine is just, it feels just all New World. This is a New World wine. Possible countries are USA and Argentina. Possible grape varieties are Zinfandel and Malbec. Young wine, 2 to 4 years of age, moderate climate. Yeah, a little slightly warmer. But since I am feeling a little bit of green that I usually don't get on Zinfandel, I'm going to put this in the Malbec camp. Final conclusion, this wine is New World. This wine is Argentina, Mendoza, Malbec, 2008, medium plus quality. That's not Malbec. That is Alexander Valley Zinfandel 2008. Final answer. California, USA.
Damn, got it in it. Okay. All right. Tough flight, huh?
Very tough flight. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Well, let's start with just overall things. I really like listening to you taste. You obviously don't have an issue with timing. You leave yourself plenty of time, which is great. You're efficient. You taste efficiently. You don't waste any time. The first wine, this is a very hard wine. You just went the wrong direction. It is Gruner, but everything you described is exactly correct. The bitterness, the phenolic bitterness, the bitter almond, you talked about the cheese rind, the lees. I mean, that's just, you're in that trilogy of PG, Albarino, Gruner, but it's way too floral to be PG.
Yeah.
This is ripe vintage Gruner, which can easily take that tropicality into Albarino territory. It's 09, you're all over the vintage. Underneath, there's just that peppery vegetal thing. It's there, but it's a very, very tricky wine. I mean, there's nothing you could have done. If you don't get it, you don't get it, and you couldn't have handled that wine any better. It was a really good job. This wine was interesting. Wine number 2.
Very weird.
Yeah, what is jumping out to you? Because you said it was highly intense. What is like the one thing that's jumping out to you most?
Sulfur.
Okay, what 2 wines could sulfur be?
White Bordeaux and Riesling.
White Bordeaux and Riesling. Okay. You called Chardonnay.
I call Chablis, yeah.
Premier Cru.
I call Chablis.
You had a hard time finding the oak, even though it's there. You did say cinnamon. You started to allude to oak. You started to talk about a little tannin on the wine, but the tannin didn't come from phenolic bitterness. The tannin came from oak. And that mint and that grass, I mean, that's pyrazine. So this was Bordeaux Blanc.
Not Chablis, but White Bordeaux.
Yeah, and it makes sense. If I were to have not known anything and listened to you, I would have initialed and final probably Bordeaux Blanc. You're really good at not all of these are really easy to decipher between old world and new world. I think you do a really good job of honing that in, and that's huge, super. It's probably the most important thing on your final beyond varietal. And as I look at these wines, there's not one wine you wrong-worlded in this entire flight, and that's monstrous. That means you're right where you need to be. This next wine, this is probably the goat of the bunch. This would probably be kicked. No one got this today. It is like a Pellini Village from 08. I know. Not a single person.
Candied Pellini?
Yeah, not a single person got it. We have Ian Cobble to thank for that wine. No, but it was, on paper it looked fine, and then it just didn't show well. So I wouldn't beat yourself up. Everybody had to handle it, so I want to see how you handled it. Yeah. I think, what did you call on structure here? Because I missed your acidity and alcohol.
I said the acidity was medium plus.
Okay, and
I darn near said high. I was like high.
Yeah.
I said high acidity. I'm like
borderline
medium
high
plus.
acid.
Yeah, borderline high.
So I think if you're gonna hedge Sauv Blanc and Pinot Gris, I think Sauv Blanc is the right call.
Yeah.
Based on the structure, Pinot Grigio wouldn't be borderline high acid.
Yeah, it'd
so
be
that was
medium plus at best.
You did a good job, and it's a very neutral wine, which is why PG would come to mind too.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed for a number of reasons here. You were torn on this wine. You thought you were getting American oak, and then you're like, I'm getting pyrazine. And then you were calling things that were Banker New Zealand. You're like tomato leaf. I'm like, oh my God. He's like ripe Bing cherry. He's like vanilla, and so I'm like, he's describing New Zealand Pinot Noir to a T. And then the pyrazine, where most people would have probably let right turn to, oh, I get pyrazine, it's Cabernet family. You stopped, you looked at it, it's like translucent. You're like, okay, what am I gonna hang my hat on here?
Yeah.
Am I really getting pyrazine? Or am I getting, this bright red fruited, translucent wine right in front of me? And you honed it in. I thought that was a really good job. And it is Central Otago 06. So
a little age on it, okay.
Yeah, just a touch of age. But you were 2 vintages off, and you were right down to tiny little district of Central Otago. So you nailed that wine, crushed it out of the park. Wine number, good job here. This is Bordeaux. 02 is a relatively high acid vintage. You called medium acid.
I did.
I might steer away from that to split hairs.
Yeah. 02 is very lean.
It's relatively ripe. I think we had a hard time calling right bank on this wine. This is Pomerol 2000.
No.
Yeah, we had a hard time. Ian got it, but it was interesting when you said the tannin was medium. And I asked Ian why he went right bank, and he's like, it's just kind of softer and rounder. And so I thought that was interesting. It doesn't matter. I mean, you knocked the wine out of the park. You described the crap out of it. Black Twizzlers. Hello. Why Black Twizzlers?
Licorice, anise.
You and your sweet tooth, dude.
Hey, brother.
You gotta keep it real. If I can make a general comment going back, that is a point scoring thing above deduction, is when you, number one, say your nose things, make sure you restate them. You did a really good job with that on the reds, but even if you start to depart with the fruit character, like, oh, this is more that, at least call those fruits again and restate them, you know, and then maybe add to that, you know, but they're more like this and
Add
that.
to it, yeah.
And then when you add to it, you said retronasal once, but they will not add those back to your nose unless you say nose and palate or retronasal on that. So if you say, I start to get mint and grass, you need to say on the nose as well, or you're not going to get that point for nose.
Yep.
So something to think about. You did a really good job of that on the red wines especially. This last wine, you're in the right ballpark, man. I mean, you're in Cali. It happens to be Syrah. This is Coupe. You know, let me smell it again, because when we had this wine, it was like 45 degrees. You know, it is pretty jammed up and oaked up. It's tough. When you get oak like this, you know, and the thing is pretty translucent.
Yeah.
I could easily see you going that direction. There is a meatiness and a gaminess underneath. But
I knew I had to take it out of Argentina. I knew I had to get it from there. Because I didn't describe it.
Right.
I
Exactly.
talked about it, but I didn't.
You started to flirt with pyrazine again on this wine, but you realized it wasn't there too. There's just some herbal notes and some more black peppercorn than that green bell pepper, which would, I guess, you know, backwardly lend itself to Syrah. But you started calling smoke. You started to say some Syrah-like things, and you did a good job. I don't think there's American oak on this wine.
Oh.
But you know, I mean,
sure?
you were. I don't know, Coupe. I'm pretty sure they go French. They try to do Rhone imposters.
True. True.
But, you know, you never know. I mean, we'd have to look into that. Bottom line, that wine is pretty much a soft pass, I think, simply because all you really missed on your final was the varietal. You were in the right world. You were in the right country. You were in the right state. You were in the right region, aside from Central Coast, getting down to Appalachian. But, you know, it's a good flight, a tough flight. I think you handled it really well. That's all I have to say about that. How do you feel you did?
I feel it was a good flight, man. You just have to listen to yourself, especially on a wine like that. Because
yeah.
I did the same thing at the exam. It was possibly white Bordeaux, and I went somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.